Hi BookTube! Today is going to be my first unhaul of books video. That was the wrong order of words. Let's try that again. Today I'm going to share my first book unhaul video. I'm not unhauling books for the first time. I'm actually unhauling books very regularly. I do that at least once a year because once a year my library has a huge book sale where they accept any kind of book donation. I love that because every penny they make, they are investing in new library books. That works out for me perfectly because I love using my library. All of the books I'm showing you today will be gone when this video is uploaded. Also, just quickly say, don't be offended because I gave away any of your favorite books. Most of the books I'm getting rid of I actually really enjoyed, but I cannot longer read them because they're in the mass market paperback size. And when I started to read English books 15 years ago, I could read those mass market paperbacks without problem, and I got them and loved them and enjoyed them, and I really actually like the format. I think it's a really wonderful format, but they have incredibly small font. I can no longer read that font in a comfortable way. I have had problems with my eyes for basically the entire year. They are just acting up in the worst way. I have reading glasses, but it's just I cannot read those books anymore because the font is too small for me to enjoy reading those books. So instead of torturing myself and hurting my eyes even more, I just decided that I don't need to keep books on my shelves that I know I will not feel comfortable reading. All of my mass market paperbacks, which I have a lot, I know, but I read all the books I'm getting rid of today. Some of them I loved, some of them I'm really sad to see go, but if I can't reread them in the format I own them in, what is the purpose of keeping them on my shelf, you know? So, before I get into them, I also wanted to quickly say I will not be giving synopsis to any of the books. I will quickly tell you if I enjoyed them or if I'm not sad to see them go, but that is it, because I have a huge stack of books, as you saw in the thumbnail of this video. Let's just get into it. The first one I have is Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walters, which was a quick, easy, fun read. Then I have Magic Hour by Kirsten Hanna, which was also quick and fun. P.S. I Love You by Selena Ahern. I have no idea how to say her last name, which I actually enjoyed the film more than the book, which is interesting. And I have Bet Me by Jennifer Crusie, which is I bought this because I love her manhunting book, but this one was just not for me. Tell Me Lies by Jennifer Crusie, which once again is one of those books that I thought I will enjoy because I loved one of her books, but this was not for me either. So apparently she is a one-hit wonder for me. Then I have two Rachel Gibson books. One is I'm No Fool for Love and one is Tangled Up in You, which were entertaining reads. Then I have Seduce Me by Carly Phillips, which was pretty stupid. Just saying. Not that any of those books are not pretty stupid to begin with, but anyway. Then I have He Love Lucy by Susan Donovan, which was fun. See Jane Score by Rachel Gibson. That was fun as well. The Kept Woman, also by Susan Donovan. This was about a kept woman, so yeah, take from that what you will. So on with a new angle, because while editing this, I noticed 4 more books I'm going to get rid of. I decided to add them on instead of just getting rid of them, and that is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. I just didn't enjoy this book. I don't need it on my shelves because it is pretty big. Also get rid of the small mass market paperbacks of Janet Ivanovich, the first 3 in the Stephanie Plum novel series. Even though I really enjoyed all 3 of them, they are mass market, so I overlooked them when I gathered up all my other small mass market. And back to the original video. Moving on to a bit more substantial books, I have The Invention of Wings by Sue Monk Kidd, which I really enjoyed and highly recommend. The Signature of All Things by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I'm not a huge fan of Elizabeth Gilbert. I didn't really love this book either by her, so I just decided she's not an author for me. We Are All Completely Besides Ourselves by Karen Joy Fowler, which was a pretty great book. The Lowland by Jumba Laidi. I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, but that was a good book as well. The Longborn by Joe Baker, which I will be missing on my shelves. Then I have The Story of Edgar Sawtelle by David Robelski. That was a great book as well. Then I have The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and if you can look right there, I already re-own that in a better size for me, which I got secondhand, and that is so much better for me. So that one can go because I don't need two of them. Then I have The Circle by Dave Eggers, which was a great book and I'm going to reread, but I cannot in that size, so I have to see where I can get my hands on a reread for that because I want to watch the movie. The Mermaids Singing by Val McDermid, which was also a good book if you enjoy crime book between other books. A Most Wanted Man by John le Carre, and that was pretty good as well, even if it has the ugly movie cover. The Art of Racing in the Rain by Gareth Stein, which was heartbreakingly beautiful. If you have a dog, I would not recommend this. If you're somebody that loves animals, this will break your heart, but it's a beautiful read. So decide for yourself if you want your heart broken and want to enjoy a beautiful read, or if you prefer to stay away from that kind of read. Then I have The Dark Road by Ma Jian, and this was beautiful. And if you're into the Chinese culture and how they just live on a daily basis, I highly recommend. The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which I love. I have The Kite Runner and A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and both of them I really enjoyed. And then I have I Know Why the Caged Birds Sing by Maya Angelou. This was beautiful as well. The one I'm not really sad about seeing go is Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close by Jean-Louis Safran Foer. This one was okay, but I didn't really love it. I didn't get the hype about this book because for me it was just a book about a kid that is going around New York after 9/11 unsupervised, and how stupid is that? So yeah, I couldn't get over that, sorry. To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, which is just not one of my favorite books. And then I have Life of Pi or P, I'm never sure how you say it in English, by Jean Martel, and that one I actually got last year or the year before in the library sale, and it's a perfect time to give it back. So then the three books I'm most pathetically sad about seeing go, because I love them and I'm so sad that I'm getting rid of those three books and not own replacements yet. So I will just have to get over not owning them right now because I can't read them anyways in the format, and that is Ayn Rand's We the Living, Atlas Shrugged, and The Fountainhead. All of them I love, all of them I highly recommend, and all of them are going to go. Pillar of the Earth by Ken Follett, which I really enjoyed actually, that, book, and particularly small font because mass market paperbacks enjoy putting huge books in especially small font. Glass Castle by Jeanette Waltz, which I want to rebuy because this was beautiful. And the last one of the mass market paperbacks, which I am not at all sad to see go, and that is Think Big by Trump. Those were actually all of the mass market paperbacks I'm getting rid of. So let me just take those out of the frame and then show you the other books. The first one is The Passage by Jonathan Cronin. I read this, I think it was my own fault why I didn't really enjoy this book, because I read The Stand by Stephen King, which I really love, and this book really reminded me of that. So I finished The Stand, read one other book, and then picked up this, and that was just the wrong timing. I got this for really cheap, and this is a huge book, so why would I keep it if I didn't really enjoy it? And my library actually has that book, so if I want to reread it, I can get it from them. One I was really disappointed by, and that is The Monuments Man by Robert M. Etzel. The movie is pretty great, and this is actually the movie cover, so you can see the actors that played a part in that movie, and it is a non-fiction book about the American monuments man that came to Europe to save the art that was in danger of being destroyed in the World War II. The concept of the book is beautiful, but the author didn't do a good job, so I don't need that because it was disappointing to read. And now moving on to YA books, read and didn't love, and just that is Shadow Me by Tahara Mafi, which was okay, but The Second Summer of the Sisterhood by Ayn Brashers. I enjoyed this while I read this. Bright Young Things by Anna Godberish. Not sure how to say her name. And then I have the first and the fourth book in a series. I actually read 2 and 3 as a free e-copy, so I don't own them in paperback. So why will I need these 2 when I don't own the entire series? And that is Deluxe and Splendor. Those were okay and entertaining, but nothing especially special, so I don't need those anymore. See a theme here? Then 3 books I also got on my library sale, and that is Stolen by Lucy Christopher, which was good, but it was also one of those books that I don't need to reread. And I have the movie cover of The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Shapovsky, and this was good. And then I have Transparent by Natalie Whipple, which was okay, but not great. Breadcrumbs by Anne Urso, which was okay, but nothing world-changing for me. Then I have Water for Elephants by Sarah Green, which was a disappointing read for me. And The Know-It-All by A.J. Jacobs, which was interesting, but nothing I need to reread. Then I have 2 classics, and that is John Steinbeck's The Red Pony. It's a very strange book. I didn't enjoy it. I think John Steinbeck writes better than this. I think that you should judge John Steinbeck on this book, because this book is not why he is a loved author. Enough said. And then I have my last classic and my last English book, and that is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This was a book I read in my school, and I think maybe I would have enjoyed it more if I wouldn't have had to read it for school. I didn't enjoy it, so goodbye. And then the last pretty big stack of books I have on my lap now are German books I'm getting rid of. So I try to look up English titles for them, and that is Worst Case by James Patterson, Stephen King's Insomnia, and I'm getting rid of that because I actually own the English version of this book now. Then I have Child 44 by Tom Rob Smith. Is that the right title I just gave? I just decided that that would be what it was called. It is right, yay! This is Our Dirty Job by Christopher Moore, and this book is years old, and I enjoyed it when I read it, but I recently found out that this is part of a series, and I don't plan to read that, and I don't plan to reread this, so let's just ignore that I read that, and let's just not make myself more uncomfortable by owning it and giving myself the feeling that I should be reading the entire thing, because it was entertaining but nothing I really loved. And that I have Blood Angel by Justine Wilson, which is I can't really remember a huge amount about this. I enjoyed it when I read it. And the last book I have to show you guys today is The Burning Wire by Jeffrey Deaver, and that is a pretty chunky thriller that was entertaining when I read it, but I got it very used looking from my library sale last year, so it is time for it to go back. Those were all the books for the second haul I'm giving there. I already got rid of quite a few children's books I kept for years, but now just decided a chunk of them has to go. I'm not showing those because they're all in German, they're all not translated, so I don't need to show those to you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to my channel. Please let's chat in the comments about if I get rid of any books that you think I should give a second chance to, because as I said, I read all of them already. Let's just talk about unhauling books. Do you do it regularly? How do you do it? Do you sell them somewhere, or you just donating them as I'm doing to my local library? Or what are you doing with books you no longer want to keep? Let me know in the comments. Let's chat there. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!